great. That's great.
The fandom that everybody has for this is ridiculously awesome. I just, kudos to everybody that's a fan because you're the ones that have made it so excellent. So I want to thank you so much.
Oh, great. Thank you.
So Jennifer, you had some pretty intense scenes with Bill. How was it prior to the scenes? Are you a complete method actor, sir, or?
Am I?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means.
Because we know there's some, like Kane Hodder, who won't even look at people before shooting a scene with them. So, I mean, with the intensity of the scenes, how was it for you guys prior to them?
Well, I think my favorite part of doing the scene with Bill was that I got to kiss Bill Moseley. That was pretty awesome. No, I mean we had fun leading up to it, and it was we were all good friends on the set, and yeah, it was.
Food was good.
Food was good.
The checks cleared.
Bill was different than Sherry.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Bill, after Bill was mean to me, we would just stop and talk and hang out while they'd reset the cameras and lights and stuff. But Sherry, who plays Baby, was not that way. Maybe she is a method actor, but because she was so upset and was very upset by having to kill me and do all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, she didn't like it. So she was different.
Yeah, Sherry definitely, she doesn't like the bloody scenes. I just did some scenes in Lords of Salem with her, and she's just mortified.
Yeah.
And, it's just Caro syrup and food coloring, and
Yeah, she keeps saying, can we stop? Can we not do this scene anymore?
which is surprising to her husband, because you can go into their house, it's just a horror museum.
Yeah.
And, of course, Rob looks like he's rolled around in the trash can before he got up every morning. So I don't understand why she doesn't like that.
Sherry was just nervous from the get-go.
Yeah.
I mean, when we had the table read at the studio, she was sitting across the table from me, and I could feel the heat coming off of her body. She was just that nervous, okay? And thank God for Karen Black, who kind of took her under her wing and coached her along and made things work for her. But she was extremely nervous.
Because that was Sherry's first movie.
First movie.
Yeah.
And then when we did Devil's Rejects, she had never been around firearms at all. And in the final scene when we're gonna have to shoot out with the cops, I had the shotgun and I blew off the first shot and she just fell into the seat. And I went, holy shit, I killed her. What? And the sound just got to her. I mean, she couldn't hear for 2 days, okay? So she's extremely sensitive when it comes to the kind of shit that we do. It's like, for us, it's like going to the store and buying a loaf of bread,
That's just, visit the Starbucks or something, do it every day. Now, I did want to check with you though, Robert. As far as the Firefly clan, everybody's kind of, let's put this nicely, batshit fucking crazy. So, I just wanted to check with you, see if Rob gave you any kind of a backstory on him. Is there any reason why RJ is the most sane and most, personable of all the Firefly clan? I mean, he's the one that's actually going out in public, doing the tow driving. Anything about that?
Hi guys, my name is Robert Bukes. I'm an actor.
Give him a round of applause.
I think I had less blood stains on my character's wardrobe actually between these two guys and no monkey outfits. So I think that's how I was able to penetrate into society and pull it off there.
But you were wearing a bear head.
Yeah, you're wearing a bear head.
I inherited that from our grandfather, and so back in the day they used to wear those, and they kind of blend in, I thought.
Dave, what about you? I mean, you were wearing some heavy-ass costume. And, it was just, freaking like, oh, well, I'm just going to rob the shit out of this place.
Well, I mean, we had that little monkey mask sort of thing, remember? And I think that was, I'm not sure even those were the masks that were originally intended for it. Somebody saw those and thought it was really funny, and so that's what we ended up wearing. There was another scene, by the way, that we shot, Chad and I, the guy who did the opening scene with me, that I don't think was on the DVD, but we were supposed to go back and do the ADR for it, and I guess it was before we had arrived at Captain Spaulding's place, and I think rightly that was taken, it would have taken away from the beginning of the film. But I don't think that ever ended up on the DVD. I've had it. No. So anyway, that's my big claim to fame. I got to do that.
And you're the first corpse also.
Yeah, I'm the first corpse. Yes. Thank you.
First one killed.
My pleasure.
Killed.
You're little Dick Wick.
Yeah, I'm little Dick Wick. That's right.
I was trying to get that on the raps, guy.
Rob really didn't know what to expect, and that was one of the first scenes that I shot in the film. And when they came in and said, "All right, stick them up," and I went like this. Okay, that wasn't in the script.
That was improvised.
Okay, that was just. And Rob fell out of his chair. It was like he ruined the sound. He fucked everything up. We had to do it all over again. But that became my motivation. If I could get him to fall out of his chair, I knew I was on target. If you were there, you would see the funny part of it because I don't know, it was like at one point we just threw the script over our shoulder and said, "Let's go." Yeah.
But I had the opposite experience. I found that he was very interested in following the script pretty much word for word. So I was on a tighter leash. Although I got to say that Rob really helped me find Otis. At one point, Walton Goggins, who plays the Tommy Toll's deputy. And I come out when they've come to the house, and I come out from behind an old washer in the yard, and I have a gun, say, "On your knees, piggy." And I walked out and did that, and then Rob said, "Yeah, that was good. Let's try it again, and this time scratch your belly as you come out." And I went, "Okay, I can do that." So I came out and said, "On your knees, piggy," and I had the gun in one hand and I scratched my belly, kind of casual. And that was wonderful. I mean, that was not in the script either.
Yeah.
And then of course, I just, thinking about that scene, one of the things that Universal wanted, that they were mortified by when they saw the screening of the rough cut of House of a Thousand Corpses, was the pause as I've got Walton on his knees, and they're pulling back, and it's about a good 30 to 40 seconds of silence. And of course, you don't do that in movies. And it was funny because Rob showed me that scene, and then later told me that was like the first thing that Universal wanted to cut out of the movie. And as it turned out, that was really the emotional heart of the movie. So of course they wanted it cut out.
Because they have no heart.
Well, no, that was who was it? Is it not Slim Pickens?
Slim Whitman.
Oh yeah, Slim Whitman. Yes. Well, that stops, and then there is, especially after Slim Whitman, that silence was something that they wanted cut out because they felt that glorified violence to the police, against the police. Yeah, and of course Rob fought and said no, that's got to stay in, and hence that I think helped us exit Universal. Yeah.
Well, Walter, I did want to check something with you. I mean, you've played how many amazing characters? I mean, you played how many monsters? Where does Dr. Satan rank for you as far as the monsters that you've played?
Obviously, he's the most famous one. So, I mean, I've played 50, 60 different monsters since the early 90s. And that one just stuck. It's such an iconic image. And I kind of came in, I didn't know any of these guys. I mean, the movie was shot, and I think Universal paid for 2 weeks of reshoots to put the whole ending in, which is the Professor and the whole Catechisms Underground and Dr. Satan. And so I knew Wayne Toth, who's Rob's main makeup guy, who builds all of his stage props and everything. And they were just looking for a skinny guy to play Dr. Satan, and I knew Wayne for years. And so I actually got the job through Wayne. And showed up and shot it in 2 days, and it was all out of focus. And I guess Rob was pissed. Some French focus puller, there was not much left. So when you look at it, it's very odd because it's almost like still images, and
it's kind of slowed down, but it gives it that creepy effect.
It definitely works creepy. Yeah, it's definitely creepy. And then later, like Bill said, Wayne would call me. I think we went 3 or 4 times to Rob's house in LA, and we did tiny burning in the bed downstairs, did the Albert Fish makeup, eating some Campbell soup up in Rob's, living room. And we did that 3 or 4 times. And some of the most fun I've had making a film was going to his house and just like guerrilla filmmaking, making sets, and he's got a video camera. Sherry making chicken for lunch. It's great. Great. But Dr. says
She could really tear the head right off him, man.
oh, she can, yeah. It's endless.
So she's no good with blood, but tearing chicken heads off is
She
fun.
cooks a good chicken lunch.
I had no preparation because I'm fucking crazy. But we rehearsed this scene at Universal Studios with Michael
Jackson?
No, Michael.
He
No.
wasn't dead then.
Yeah.
Beat it.
The day that the Kentucky Michael J. Pollard, the day of the Kentucky Derby, and the only thing that Michael J. Pollard wanted to do was go home and watch the Kentucky Derby. Okay.
And smoke a dude.
And smoke a dude. Yeah.
Is that a
Or
technical term?
in whatever order. But we did do a little rehearsing of that scene, but he works organically, I work organically, and it's just, we know what has to happen in the scene, and we just make it happen, okay?
My turn. It's Sid's way of saying we don't really give a fuck, we just have fun.
Yeah.
We get out there, and contrary to Bill's experience, ours with Rob, which is why we laughed, is set them free. And once we got together, it was just an event. I mean, this is a fabulous person to work with. You got energy, he bounces it back to you, and that's the synergy that comes out. It's fabulous being on the set with Sid and then having Rob just, like you said, try to get him to fall out of his chair. That's our primary objective. Everything else becomes wholly irrelevant. But the end result is something that is unique, it's perfect for the moment, and it carries this strange elliptical vibe that adds an additional power to the film, I think. I mean, I enjoyed working with everybody in that movie, and look at the cast. These are phenomenal people to have in your presence and just be on set with. But I mean, my deputy sheriff was Walton Goggins. I think that was his 3rd film. And Walton, later like 2 years later, won an Academy Award for a short that he made. He's now doing Justified and doing a killer job. I mean, this is what happens. Somehow Rob pulls amazing people together, puts them in the same room, shakes that bag, and what comes out is magic. There is no way around it. Both those films are phenomenal moments of, for want of a better word, iconic horror that changed the industry, literally changed the industry. It was never the same after these guys got through with it, that's for fucking sure.
Also, it was an example of the 2 biggest heads in show business.
We did fill the screen.
Those are some big fucking heads.
Big heads and noses, man.
We're gonna tape Hershey Kisses to our heads and go as Dolly Parton for Halloween.
Take wow.